What's up, sports bettors? Happy holidays, and sportsbooks have started to release MLB odds for Sunday, and we have a full slate, 15 games, so I'm going to be taking you through the best MLB bets for today, and we actually have a parlay, so we're going to be going through the best MLB parlay. So again, kind of a very common misconception about parlays, and I'll keep saying this, but is that they can never be profitable. That's completely not true, right? If you're finding bets with an edge, with a profit margin, and you parlay them together, then your parlay will be profitable. Your parlay will be positive EV. Now, on the other hand, if you parlay together unprofitable bets, your parlay will be unprofitable. So when betting on parlays, you always want to make sure you are getting bets with value, right? So the OddsJam positive EV tool is really constantly scanning these sports books, their lines, their prop markets to try to find you data-driven bets, right? There's no BS, there's no fluff. It's just data, right? So for example, in the Guardians-Yankees game, we can see a 6.94% profit margin on first inning total runs, over half of a total run, plus 112 on FanDuel. So if we take a look at the odds, it's pretty clear that this is a true pricing discrepancy, right? The other two sportsbooks that have already released MLB odds for Sunday, July 3rd, both have this at minus 110, right? And Pinnacle, the sharpest, most efficient betting market that takes the highest quantity of bets, they're a very sharp bookmaker. They're pricing this all the way at minus 110, right? So this is a very clear indication that this plus 112 on FanDuel is a great bet, right? It's a sharp bet. We're finding value in the odds. So we've gone through this before, but like if you went 50 and 50 as a sports bettor with a $250 unit, if you were betting at plus 105 odds on all your plays, you'd be up 625 bucks in profit. If you went 50 and 50 at minus 105 odds, you'd be down $600. So, of course, it doesn't matter if you're only placing one bet per week or something like that. But if you're looking to get serious about your sports betting, serious about your parlays, your MLB betting, then you need to be getting value, right? If you're placing bets at minus 110, when another sportsbook in your state is giving you plus 112, you're screwed from the beginning, right? So here we can see the sharpest bookmaker in the world. They're pricing the yes run first inning, or over half of a total run, in the first inning, so any amount of runs, 1, 2, 3, at minus 110, so as the favored outcome. And we can get this plus 112 on FanDuel, so this is the first sharp bet that's going to be in our parlay. So you can see right here, the market on Pinnacle is minus 110, minus 106. So once we remove the juice from this market, we can see that this bet should be winning 50.45% of the time in the true odds, or the no vig odds, the fair line, whatever you want to call it. Once you remove the juice, is minus 102, and we're getting plus 112 on FanDuel, right? So we're getting better odds than the no vig odds or the true odds, which is exactly what you want as a sports bettor, right? So this is the first pick I have in my parlay, and we're hitting this at a clip of 50.45% according to the implied win percentage from the sharpest bookmaker, right? So sportsbooks imply win probabilities, based on their odds, right? So for example, if we take a look here, Luke Voigt minus 300 is a positive EV bet, right? But what you can see is it's a positive EV bet at minus 300 odds. So the sharpest bookmaker's pricing this at minus 469. So this seems like a great bet. It's actually an arbitrage betting opportunity. Both bets look a little profitable here. But long story short, they're pricing, Pinnacle, the sharpest bookmaker, is pricing him not to hit a home run at minus 469. So that's obviously the favored outcome, right? So sportsbooks imply win probabilities through their odds. If something, is minus 110 on the over and minus 106 on the under, the over is more juiced. So the sportsbook thinks the over is more likely to hit, right? And you can quantify that mathematically with the no vig fair odds calculator on OddsJam. This is a very important calculator as a sports bettor. So 50.45% of the time we're winning our first bet. And then our second bet, this actually came down to plus 112 odds, but I still bet it for my parlay because it still looks very good. Minus 104, minus 112. So this bet is going to be less profitable, so a slightly lower profit margin you can see here. And then the fact that we bet it at plus 112, unfortunately someone else, probably bet it big before me and it came down a bit. But regardless, So those are the two picks I have, and then the second pick is hitting at a rate of 49.11%. So again, it's a slight underdog to hit the yes run first inning, right? Because Pinnacle, the sharpest sportsbook, they have the under, the no run first inning, more juiced, right? So the under is more likely to hit. But it doesn't matter, right? Because we're still getting value to the true odds of plus 103. We're getting plus 112 on FanDuel. So that's the second pick I have, and our win rate is 49.11%. So you can see my bet here on the screen. FanDuel limited me. They're like, yo, you're crushing us on these parlays. Yes, run first innings. So I was only able to bet 53.60. But, we can see the edge or the profit margin is going to be 11%. And the way you back this out, this is critical in parlay betting strategy, is you want to know the win probability, right, for both of your bets. So we already have that, right? Using a no vig fair odds calculator and real-time odds from Pinnacle, the sharpest sportsbook in the world, we can get the win probabilities for both our bets. Now we know both of these bets are uncorrelated, right? Guardians-Yankees game has nothing to do with Tigers-Royals. So to figure out the win probability for both parlays, so we need 1+ run in both games, we just multiply these two numbers together, right? The win probability for each bet. So we're hitting this parlay 24.77% of the time. We're betting it at plus 349 odds, and we're staking 53.70 to win 187 in profit. So now we have everything we need to back out the value of our bet, or the profit margin quantified in dollars, right? 25-ish% of the time, we're winning $187 in profit. The other 75% of the time, we're losing our stake of $54. So we can quantify our profit margin mathematically using sports betting formulas. And then we can see our edge is 11%. So super profitable parlay, early parlay for tomorrow. Again, a lot of these line discrepancies happen earlier in the day. So you never know when the best bets are going to occur. So it's critical to just refresh on OddsJam. This bet just showed up. You can see right here, Rockies, Diamondbacks, player bases, Jordan Luplow over 1.5. This bet looks pretty incredible. If we just click into the odds as a data-driven sports bettor, we want to see, okay, every sports book is pricing this at minus 121, minus 115, minus 114. Every sports book has this around minus 115 to minus 120. We can get it plus 115 on FanDuel, right? That's a very sharp bet. That's a bet you want to be all over as a sports bettor. You're getting value in the odds, which is all that matters long term, right? Finding these line inefficiencies and taking advantage of them. So I hope you found this video helpful, and let's make some money.